Welcome back. As many of you know, I've switched from the KQkq defense to the French defense recently, mostly because in the KQkq defense there are a bunch of traps that white can use, and I have a bunch of opponents that try these traps because they're rated about the same as me, and people around my rating level really love trappy lines rather than trying to play solid, calculating long-term chess games. And I found that I have trouble remembering all of the little trappy lines and what I'm supposed to do to stop each one of them, and that's the main reason that I switched to the French defense. Also, in many ways, it's similar to the KQkq defense, but anyway, today I wanted to practice it a little bit, first by looking at it here on the analysis board, and then I want to play a couple of positions, or at least one position, against a few bots just out of curiosity. This, of course, is the French defense e6 as a response to white's e4. Now, in the opening book, the most common move here is d4, and according to the Lichess database, that's about 37% of the time, and very close is the knight to f3, and everything else is, very far behind those two moves. What I've been seeing the most is, of course, d4, and then I play d5. Sometimes we get the exchange variation, sometimes we get the advanced variation, and sometimes they just leave those two e and d pawns there and get the knight out. But what's showed up in a bunch of recent games for me, or a few recent games for me, is f4 here on move 2. And in the Lichess players database, that's the 5th most common move I can expect. I think I have seen some of the other moves like bishop to c4. I think I've seen knight to c3, which seems like a problem because it blocks their c-pawn. And I have, of course, seen knight to f3 and the d-pawn. But f4 I've only seen a few times and very recently, so I wanted to look at that. But just out of curiosity, I wanted to make sure that I'm playing the right thing against all of these others before I go on. Now for my move, I'm going to look at the engine. Oh, here it says a6 is just fine. Really? But d5 is slightly better. And of course, no one in the players database plays a6 here. What about masters? Oh, a few masters. Out of 126,000 games, 86 of them have played a6 here. All right, well, that's interesting. Okay, so I have been playing d5 against that. Backing up, the next most common is knight to f3. Is d5 still the most common? Or the best? It is the most common. c5 is next most common. See, here I did play c5 a couple of times, and my thinking was that if I play d5, they just take it, and then, we've both lost our e-pawns. But if I play c5, I keep them from playing the d-pawn, or at least I'm discouraging them from playing the d-pawn, but then I have to play my d-pawn at some point eventually. Okay, so d5 is the best move here. Backing up, if they play knight to c3, then Stockfish would play c5, but d5 is still by far the most common. And it says if I play c5, then I can expect them to get this knight out. That's the best move and the most common by far, or f4 here. And if they play f4 here, if I've already played c5 by the time they play f4, I get this knight out. But if they play f4 first, which is back here, which is the one I wanted to look at. Okay, d5 is still what players play as black, and it is what Stockfish would play, although c5 is close. But my problem with playing d5 here is, again, not only can they take, and we've both lost our e-pawns, but they can push. And that apparently is what I can definitely expect from my opponents. It does look like taking is the second most common, but just about half will move forward. And when they move forward, then I play c5, and I've got to deal with this pawn the whole time. Now, I think in a game that I played on camera recently, when I played this, they just went ahead and played their d-pawn also, which was completely unexpected and I think was counted as a mistake. And here I wasn't sure if I was supposed to go ahead and take, but I am. Okay. All right, but backing up. Okay, so what I can expect is them to push, and then I play c5, and then here most people, it says, will play the knight to f3, but a few people will play d4 or c3. They play d4, I shouldn't take it. Wait, how bad would it be if I took it? Not that bad, we would still be even, okay. But Stockfish would play knight to f6 here. Is that aiming for f5? Sorry, knight to h6. And I guess it's aiming for... Oh no, it's just gonna stay there. It doesn't look like it's aiming for f5 at all. It's just staying there because the bishop can't attack it. Okay, and I should expect them to get this bishop out, or c3, or here, or bishop to b5 check is one move I could expect. But most people will play c3 or knight to f3. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to remember that knight to h6 move because it looks so odd, but queen to b6 is the next most common. And I suppose that's because it's, targeting two things and preventing the check. Okay, I think I can remember that because I play that anyway, even if we don't go into this f4 variation. So if they do advance and I play c5 and they play d4, then I put my queen over here. But if they get the knight out instead, I can still play queen to b6. Now, I might get the order of this messed up, but I think I understand this position. Okay, so backing up, what if they don't push forward? What if they take? I assume I take back. Yeah, it's the only move. And then they're going to play d4 most likely? Oh no, most likely they're going to play knight to f3, according to the players database. Stockfish would play d4 or knight to f3. Okay, but most of my opponents will play here, and then I just get this knight out, and I'm ahead. Now they will play d4 probably. Okay, so those two moves can go in either order, and I'm just going to play bishop to e7 or bishop to d6. Either one seems fine, and then either castle, or if they check me, I'll wait a little while to castle. All right, well, as we saw, this position right here where they play f4 on move 2 was not very common. In the player's database, it's the 5th most common. I can only expect it 1 out of every 20 games. And then, of course, if their next move is different, that's going to be a smaller and smaller slice of my games. If I was playing against titled players, it's much less common, 0% of the games. Just enough to register. Out of 137,000 games, only 300 masters have played this. Well, what I want to do is take this position and play it against a few bots like I have been doing recently, one against a weaker bot, one against an intermediate bot around my level, 13 or 1400. And then if I beat that one, then maybe I'll go a little higher, but not too much. From this early in the game, I'm definitely not going to beat a high-rated bot. Okay, let's take this position here, and I've pasted it here on the analysis board on the other chess website. What? No, I'm playing with the black pieces. How do you flip the board? Practice versus computer. Let's try Milica from Serbia, who's rated 550. I should be able to beat this bot no trouble, and in fact, I expect this bot to not make the first few opening moves correctly, but just in case, we're going to try it. Choose that bot. I'm going to play d5 like the engine suggested on the other site. Okay, she did push forward, and if I remember right, c5 was my move. Let's see what... Okay, that was normal. And if I'm not mistaken, the bot is trying to play d4. So that's what this knight is doing here, is guarding d4. And of course, the queen will be guarding d4. And queen to b6 was one of mine. And I think here is where knight to h6 was recommended as well. But then it's just supposed to sit over there, which feels really weird. So I'm going to put queen on b6. Okay, the king has moved. All right, I knew something weird was going to happen before too long. Of course, I can just push this pawn here and it'll be check, but the check won't go anywhere, so there's no point in that. But now I can play knight to h6 and try to come in here, and I don't know though, because won't a g-pawn start, coming if I get a knight over here? That's what opponents at my level would play here, is if I put that knight there, they would just start shooting g-pawns, and I wouldn't know what to do. I would have a knight here for no reason. Actually, in that case, I could just take the pawn, couldn't I? All right, then I shouldn't worry about it too much. But again, I know checking is probably pointless here, so I should just go ahead with my piece development, correct? Put the knight here, and does it make any sense to come this way, or do I just leave it there like Stockfish was saying? Oh, they've checked me. All right. Well, I think I can solve that one pretty easily because they did this after I put my queen here. All right. What are they going to do if I take the bishop? I don't know, but I'm going to take it. Oh, they've attacked it immediately. I can take that too, but I'm not sure if I should. And then that pawn is undefended, but I guess they could do this, and then I'd have to bring my queen back. All right, I'm going to take that pawn too, although it looks like my queen is getting baited out here into the open. Oh, well, they've attacked my queen, but left this pawn undefended, and then that pawn will be undefended. So I think I'm doing okay. Wait, what if I take that, and then they play this? Then this pawn will be defended. Oh, yeah, see, now this does seem like bait. To be really careful here. Oh, I could check first, but then they can come for my knight. What if I take this, and then they play the d-pawn, and then I check, and then my queen will be guarding these two squares. King could move over, and then I could put the queen on f5? That seems dangerous. I don't know about that. I think maybe I should just inch the queen back to where it was here now that I'm a piece ahead. Let's do that. Oh, the king has moved back. Okay. Well, let's see. Can I go this way? No, that's bad. Let's see if we can get another piece out here. Which piece? Bishop? Let's get this dark squared bishop out in case I want to... Okay, that pawn has launched itself forward. Now can I move this knight? And then I'll have two pieces aimed at that pawn? No, they have two pieces defending that pawn. Well, I don't know if I want to castle now. But you know what? I'm going to, because it's a low-rated bot. Oh my. Okay, then that one I can just take. I know that. They've attacked my queen again. But now I can check here. They've blocked the check. But I can just take that knight. Oh, my queen's looking kind of fragile here in the middle. I have to be careful. I can slide out this way. I can slide out this way. And if they move their queen, I can slide that way. I'm going to leave it there for a second, I think. Let's see, that pawn is pinned. So should I move a pawn forward? I don't know. Let's get my knight out. Oh, they've attacked my queen directly. I'm going to take their rook with check. And then I'm going to take this pawn. And then... check with the knight, okay, and then check with the queen. Let's go ahead and take that, and then I think I'm good to go here. At least I should be because of all the pieces that I have. Let's get this bishop out this way, like so, and then get the rook out this way. I think we can start moving these pawns forward. Oh, they've given up their bishop for a pawn, so good for them. I think I can fork the pawn and rook. Oh no, they went to protect the pawn. Okay. Well, let's move another pawn forward here. Their king has dropped back. We can check. And then here I should have something because these two pawns are blocking off those squares and my bishop's blocking off that. Let's see, if I check, my bishop won't be blocking off c2 anymore, so the king can get away that way. All right, I had an interruption. I don't know if it made it through the editing process, but anyway, I had to take a phone call there. The idea here was that if I check with the rook and they get away because my rook is blocking my bishop, then I'll be able to move my rook anywhere I want, and that'll be a check from the bishop. But I could just move the rook one more and it'd be a double check. They'd have to go down. Then I put my rook over here and it's check from the dark squared bishop, and I take their rook. I think that's good. I think that's what I thought of. Let's try that. They have to go there. This is a check. They have to, they went back. Okay, I didn't expect that. This isn't checkmate because they can always come toward my rook. I thought they were going to go down. I did not expect they could come back up. Let's see, what happens if I check with the pawn? What moves do they have available? They can go out, they can go forward, they can go over. But what if I move my rook over first to c2, which would cut off this whole file, and the pawns are still cutting off all of this? Then I could check with the bishop, depending on what they do, because they'll have a turn. But then I could check with the bishop, they'll have to go over, and then I'll check with the other bishop, and that should be mate. No, that second one, they could block with the pawn. But I'm going to try it, because this is safe here. Oh, they went ahead and moved over for me. All right. So now if I check here with the bishop, they're going to block with the pawn, and I'm going to take. Is that mate? No, because then they could move over toward my rook. Oh my. But I can always get the rook out of there. Let's check, and okay, they blocked with the pawn. Oh, I can just take the pawn with the bishop and leave the pawns where they are. And now they come here. My rook is safe, but if I check with the bishop, then my rook is not safe. Wait, what if I check with the rook? Oh, then they go down. Oh my. I'm going to do it anyway. The king has to go down. And of course, if I check, they can come back up. What can I do here? You know what? Let's see if we can trade off the rooks here. And then that will make this all a lot easier. And I have to make sure they have legal moves. And currently they do. So I'm just going to move this back. Bring my other rook. I just now remembered I had another rook. Yeah, that would have been helpful a few minutes ago. All right, let's put this here, which will trap them further down there. Protect the rook. And then bring the king. You know what? Because I don't know how to do this with just the bishops and the rook, but I know how to do it with the king and the rook. So let's trap them on the back rank. We're going to go way over here, which gives them some running room. And then I will bring the king. Let's see, that's a check from the bishop. And if I come over now, it's a stalemate. So I'm going to move the bishop here so they can come over. Move this bishop here, and this is checkmate. That took a long time, but mainly because I'm not very good with checkmating with bishops. I know how to do it with a rook and a king, so I just had to keep my bishops out of the way. But real quick, back here, let's go to the analysis board. And here I was doing fine, and at some point they moved their king, but not yet. Here they played one of their best moves. Oh, this engine doesn't recommend putting the queen over there on b6 here. Did I remember that incorrectly? Okay, so how badly? Okay, that wasn't that bad then. And this is where they moved their king, and I'm just fine. Oh, and the knight to h6 was pointless here. I should have just played this knight out. Okay, well, how bad was that? It gave away most part of my advantage. That was bad because I could take it. And then, okay, then I was a piece ahead for the rest of the game. It was just a matter of being careful. Okay. Well, now let's pick a little bit harder bot. This one is Jade. I have beaten Jade before. I don't remember how long it's been, but the crowns are there, so I'm pretty sure I have beaten Jade before. Jade is from Belgium. Wait, I thought that was the German flag. Oh my. I told you, I'm really bad at recognizing flags. Wait, is the German flag has the stripes horizontal? I should probably watch the Olympics more often. Okay. Jade is around 1300. She should give me a pretty good game. Let's go. It's my turn. I'm going to play d5 and see what Jade does. Okay, Jade did not push forward. Jade got this bishop here, which wasn't one of the moves I considered. So now do I take this pawn and they have a bishop here? But then that allows me to get this knight out, doesn't it? And then they have to move the bishop again? Maybe. Let's try that. Oh, the bishop went back. I did not expect that. I'm not sure. C5, I guess. Okay, let's take that. Oh, all right. Not sure what's going on now. I'm pretty sure if I take that pawn, we're going to have a queen trade. And then my king won't be able to move. So what if I get this knight out and then see what they do? Oh, we're going to have a queen trade anyway. Okay. And that bishop isn't pointed at anything too serious right now. So I'm going to get this knight out and then this bishop out. And the other bishop really can't go anywhere right now. So let's move the B pawn. So I'll have, oh, we're coming for that, I guess. Well, let's move it then. Oh no, then they're going to fork me. Wow. Good job, bot. Do I put the bishop back here on the knight's square to keep the knight from forking me? I think I have to. Okay. And then castle, and then I can take the knight that they gave me for free. Come on, Jade, you're better than that. Pretty sure Belgium would be disappointed in you, just giving me the knight. Let's put this bishop up here, and all right, you want that really badly, I can tell. Why don't you go ahead and take it? Oh, they did. Okay. Oh, we're coming for the knight with the pawn, but now I have 2 pieces pointed over here, so I'm going to take that and trade off this, and I'm up 5 points of material just like that. I say take this knight, and then I'm just up a whole bishop plus a couple of pawns. Should I take that? I think that's a trap, because then they have moved the pawn forward. Let's slide this bishop back just a little bit. Oh, she did see that I was aiming at the rook. Okay. And see if Jade wants a rook trade here. Oh, she did. Okay. Pawns are coming. I can go there, aiming at both the pawn and the rook, but I assume Jade will move to protect the pawn. And then what? Then I don't know. But you know what? Since they still have a rook, I'm going to play this h-pawn here just in case, giving myself a way out. Let's go after this pawn over here. Oh, I'm going to get that pawn? All right. And then I'm going to give up the other pawn. I don't think that can be helped, can it? Yeah, let's just move the bishop a little bit. Oh, and Jade didn't take the other pawn. Okay, well, I can save it now. Let's save it. And then we'll start doing some, should I check or offer the rook trade? Let's offer the rook trade. And now I just have a bishop. I'm the only one with a piece left, so that should help matters along a little bit. Gonna do this so I can bring my king. Oh, Jade is going for my rear pawn. What can I do about that? I can go for one of Jade's pawns, like this one, and then protect this one, and bring my king, I guess. Oh, now I have a passed pawn. I have to get over there, I think. Let's see, how do I get over there? This way? Take that. And then here, and then here. And now Jade's pawn can't go anywhere, so I'm just going to march this h-pawn down while Jade goes back and forth over there. I think I'll be okay. Oh, is Jade trying to get into a stalemate? No, Jade still has legal moves. Give me a queen. And check. 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 And where's my mate? Let's just get Jade trapped on the back rank and bring the king. And we'll checkmate. Okay. All right. Once again, we had a bot making a fairly obvious blunder early on. If I switch to the analysis board here, I don't remember which turn it was. It was this one, which, yeah, it was really obvious that Jade should have taken back, but instead Jade just retracted the bishop. C5 wasn't among my best moves. Knight to f6, b6. Okay, I get b6. Knight to c. See, I didn't want to do the knight there until I moved the c pawn. But that's probably because I played a bunch of d pawn openings. Okay, so that wasn't horrible. d3 was okay. Was taking it fine? Yes, taking it was one of my 2 acceptable moves. That was weird. Then I should have played queen to d4. Ooh, targeting the rook. I didn't think of that. And it says if I had played queen to d4, they would have blocked that path with the c pawn, and then I just would have moved over with the check, and they would have moved the king. Oh, that's because they couldn't have blocked very easily because of my pawn. They would have moved the king, and then I would have played c4, and it would have got messy. Or I could have just taken here, and they would have taken my queen. I would have taken back. They would have saved their knight, and then I would have got a knight out, and it says I would still be up. Okay, see, that I wasn't sure about, because I'm only up 2 pawns. So how bad was this? I lost a little bit of the advantage, but it was okay. And here I should have not taken the queen. What? Oh, I should have just moved over. I thought since I was up a pawn and their position was a little broken and would be even more broken here, I thought I should take with the queen, but that's because I didn't see the bishop. I should have just sidestepped this or blocked it with the bishop. Okay, so that lost, again, some of my advantage. Best move. Okay, that was among my best moves. Best move. Best move. Here the engine would have castled or a3 or knight to a3 even, but this wasn't as good. Knight to b4. Oh, aiming for the fork? No, aiming for the bishop. And it says they just would have played knight to e5, and then I would have castled and they would have castled. Okay, maybe a bot would have played that, but I wouldn't expect a human to play this. I don't know what I would expect, but I didn't think of playing b4, so I just did this to get this bishop out, and now they should play knight to e4, and I would trade for their knight. Instead, they went over here. Oh, bishop to b8 was my only move. I'm so glad I figured that out because I thought, oh no, I gave up the fork. Only move that maintains my advantage is bishop to b8. Good for me. Castling was okay for them. Castling was okay for me. Knight to c7 was not good. Okay, and then I think I was ahead pretty clearly for the rest of the game. Okay, I actually don't have time to play a harder bot, but I am feeling a little bit more comfortable with the knight to f4 thing now. And that's really what the purpose of this was. Aside from the overall purpose of doing this chess every day, which hopefully will eventually help me get better at chess. Thank you for spending your time here. Let me know what you're doing to get better at chess, and I'll see you next time.